Hello. So for my mini video, I decided to do prompt 2. I used the characters from Avatar: The Last Airbender. It is on Netflix. You guys should definitely check it out. So my two phenotypes were the ability to bend the elements, and then my second phenotype was the presence of an arrow on the body. Okay, in this pedigree, we are going to assume that individuals without parental info are homozygous recessive or homozygous dominant, depending on the evidence. So for my first phenotype, which is the ability to bend, I concluded that the mode of inheritance was X recessive along with autosomal recessive. It is not X dominant because if you look at Judy and the Avatar in their offsprings, if it was X dominant, that would mean that both Flynn and Karen would receive a dominant X from their father, and then that would mean that they would be benders, which they are not. Also, if it was autosomal dominant, that would also mean that they would receive a dominant trait from their father, making them benders as well. And as you can see, they are not benders, which is why it is not autosomal dominant. Now, looking at phenotype 2, which is the presence of arrows, I concluded that the mode of inheritance is Y-linked. It is not X-linked by looking at Toph and Aang and their offsprings. So it is not X-linked because if it was, looking at Kim and Lula, their children would have the presence of arrows because they would be heterozygous. Along with it not being X-linked recessive, because if it was X-linked recessive, therefore that would make Ben and Kyle to have no arrows because they would be heterozygous, and to have that phenotype present, they would have to be homozygous recessive. It's also not autosomal dominant. Looking back at Judy and the Avatar, if it was autosomal dominant, the kids would have arrows present as well, and that is because they would have been heterozygous. Okay, and then it is not autosomal recessive. Going back to Toph and Aang and their offsprings, all the children would not have arrows present if it was autosomal recessive, because all the kids would be heterozygous. To conclude, the phenotypes are Y-linked for presence of arrow, and then the ability to bend is X recessive and autosomal recessive.